So this year I decided to keep track of the games I play through a Notion page. There I register the game status, a score, the platform I own it, where I played it, how many times I completed it, and I also write a review of my experience. Well, I've been keeping track since January, and since I have all this data, I figured I could make a video showing you guys all the games I finished this year. Today, I'm going to show you 23 games and share my experience with them. So buckle up and let's go for it. Dungeons of Hinterberg is an action RPG set in a small alpine town, where tourism revolves around exploring magical dungeons. You play as a young traveler, balancing dungeon crawling with social interactions and personal growth. This is a super fun game with beautiful cel shading graphics, exciting dungeons to explore, and different powers to wield. The game also has a nice relationship mechanic that unlocks perks for you and also serves as a storytelling resource. Each character has their own motivation and backstory, and all of them feel meaningful and well written. This is the kind of game that does not require much effort to keep track of things. Even if you stay away from it for a while, it's easy to pick up the pace again and explore those dungeons.
Kay Vess, the underworld's favorite new scoundrel.
Star Wars Outlaws is an open-world adventure set between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. You play as an outlaw navigating the criminal underworld, taking risky jobs and trying to survive between powerful factions. I feel like this game got an undeserved amount of hate. I personally enjoyed it. The world is well made, missions are fun, combat is good, graphics are beautiful, there are a ton of side quests and collectibles, the faction mechanic is interesting, and the sabacc minigame is addictive. Of course, it has problems. Ubisoft AI sucks, stealth feels forced and doesn't work that well, the story is forgettable, and the PC version also suffered from bad optimization when I played it. But overall, I genuinely think it's a good game. Spider-Man follows Peter Parker as he balances everyday life with protecting New York City. The story focuses on his responsibilities as a hero and the consequences of his relationships with friends and enemies. Spider-Man has been my favorite hero since I was a kid, so I played a ton of games in his universe. I can easily say that this is the best Spider-Man game I have played. The story is so good, it has astonishing graphics, it is super fun to web swing through the city, and the combat is top-notch with clear inspirations from the Batman games. This is a must-play not only for Spider-Man fans, but also for any action-adventure fans.
Look, I don't know if I'm ready to fly solo.
You gotta take the oath. I promise to do everything in my power to protect this city.
I promise.
Miles Morales steps into the role of Spider-Man while discovering his own identity as a hero. The story is more personal, focusing on community legacy and learning what it truly means to protect others. This game has all the strengths of the previous one, but its pace feels a bit faster, especially in combat. The story is shorter but great too. The city feels a bit more alive and side quests are more interesting. Although I still prefer the first one, this is an awesome game.
Miles, what's the underground doing?
They're after new form. Tinkerer, stop!
To the Aperture Science Enrichment Center. Let's look at some of the challenges you'll face as a test participant. You may be required to perform simple tasks, such as locating an exit. These simple tasks may be supplemented with insurmountable obstacles. Thanks to the Aperture Science handheld portal device, the impossible is easy. Let's look at a real-world example.
Portal is a puzzle game set in a mysterious testing facility run by an AI. Using a portal gun, you solve increasingly clever challenges while uncovering what's really happening behind the scenes. This game is super innovative and fun. Too bad it is too short, but it's still an incredible experience. It's the kind of recommendation that I would give to any type of gamer. If you haven't played it yet, just go for it.
It's been a long time. How have you been?
Portal 2 expands on the original with new mechanics, characters, and a much deeper narrative. The story explores the facility's past while keeping the same sharp humor and creative puzzles. This game basically takes everything good from the first one and multiplies it by 3. Puzzles are a lot more challenging, more creative, and the world is a lot more expanded. The story is amazing with that kind of immersion and storytelling only Valve knows how to do. This is a must play for every gamer.
Test chamber completed. Continue testing.
You seem different. Untouched by false truths. Will you pry these gifts from the unwilling? Or will you let them rot? Bring the glands back to me.
Mortal Shell is a dark fantasy action RPG where you inhabit fallen warriors called shells. The story is intentionally vague, focusing on atmosphere, mystery, and the cyclical nature of death and rebirth. This was my first Souls-like. It is not as punitive as Demon Souls or Dark Souls, but since I had no previous experience with the genre, I can say that I had my angry and rewarding moments with it. I enjoyed the dark atmosphere a lot. The shell mechanic where you can possess different bodies with unique traits is awesome. Graphics are great and the world they built here is really compelling. It's a really good game and I think it's a great entry for the Souls-like genre. Doom: The Dark Ages reimagines the Doom universe with a darker medieval-inspired tone. It explores the origins of the Doomslayer through brutal combat and a more grounded narrative approach. Well, it's a Doom game, but a bit slower and you use a shield, which I think was a great addition by the way. The shield makes you face the enemies from close instead of running around, and those encounters will make you feel like a genuine badass. The parry mechanic is great too, requiring you to be more aware of your surroundings and allowing you to perform sick combos. Like in any Doom game, forget the story, just keep pulling the trigger and have fun.
only going to make things worse for everyone.
Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is a turn-based RPG set in a surreal world ruled by a mysterious entity called the Paintress. The story centers on a group determined to stop an inevitable ritualistic death sentence. This game is one of the biggest surprises I had this year, and it is easily one of my top 5 games of all time. I'm not that into turn-based RPGs, but this game has such an intriguing story that it's hard to put your controller down. It is full of personality in its visuals and soundtrack. All characters are great and incredibly relatable. Combat is so fun, and there are a lot of memorable battles. If you enjoy RPGs, or even if you don't, give Clair Obscur a chance. You won't regret it.
Take everything. Is this true? Miles with him. We need to go now. Who are you?
Just look at this place. All been falling apart after she was murdered. She was the only thing keeping this place together. If we want to survive, somebody has to get this place back in shape. Yeah, that's our job now. Isn't it exciting?
Portal Revolution is a fan-made prequel set within the Portal universe. It introduces new puzzles and environments while staying faithful to the tone and storytelling style of the original games. If you enjoyed Portal 1 and 2, you'll love this one. This is a very competent game and it feels like it was developed by Valve themselves. Be ready for even more challenging puzzles that will make you scratch your head and even look at guides. A must play for Portal fans. Celeste tells the story of Madeline climbing a mountain while confronting her inner struggles. It's a deeply personal narrative about self-doubt, perseverance, and mental health. This is a super fun, challenging, and creative 2D precision platformer. It literally made me buy a better controller so I could hit diagonals more accurately. It is very rewarding to go through those hard parts while getting all the collectibles on the way. The story was a great surprise. I didn't expect it to be that good. The game also has a lot of hidden content, which greatly increases its replay value. Celeste is definitely a great experience. Super Mario 3D World is a colorful platformer focused on tight level design and cooperative play. Bowser's Fury adds a more open structure, presenting a darker and more experimental side of the Mario universe. It's literally the same Super Mario World vibes, but in 3D. What's not to like about it? It is a super fun and relaxed game to play. Nintendo really knows how to make these captivating experiences that make you want to play, replay, and collect everything available. Bowser's Fury is also great. It looks like a playtest for Mario Odyssey because it feels exactly like Odyssey, which is fantastic. Mario Odyssey is my favorite platformer, so I loved Bowser's Fury. Well, this is an easy recommendation for platformer fans. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a western epic following the iconic Arthur Morgan in an outlaw gang at the end of the Wild West era. The story focuses on loyalty, morality, and the slow collapse of a fading way of life. This is the best game I've ever played in my entire life. I've never felt so involved emotionally with a game before. This game made me cry on 9 different occasions, and I still think about it all the time. It was really hard for me to start playing other games after this one, and I don't think any other game I play deserves the Masterpiece badge. Arthur Morgan became my favorite character of all time, not only in games. The open world in this game is the most alive I've ever seen. It is so highly detailed that at times it feels impossible that this game even exists. I don't think Rockstar will ever make something as good as Red Dead Redemption 2.
Where's our money?
Do you have my bag? Always, Dutch.
We're on the trail of the lost treasure of El Dorado, and it's brought us here, to this tiny island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
The first Uncharted introduces Nathan Drake, a treasure hunter searching for a legendary lost fortune. It sets the foundation for the series with adventure, exploration, and cinematic storytelling. This was actually my 3rd time finishing this game. I wanted to replay the trilogy before playing the 4th game. Replaying the first Uncharted in 2025 really surprised me at how polished this game already was back in 2007. Graphics are great, and there are some mind-blowing details for back then, like realistic movement and the wet clothes effect. The AI also surprised me a lot. Enemies are very clever, making you move around covers to avoid grenades or being surrounded. There's a real sense of strategy there. I didn't remember the AI was that good. This is a classic action-adventure game and a great introduction for the series.
Hey!
This is so not cool!
How much trouble could one girl be?
What's going on? Oh God.
Uncharted 2 raises the stakes with a globe-trotting adventure centered on a powerful Asian artifact. The story deepens the characters while delivering bigger action set pieces. The improvement from the first game is huge in all aspects. Gunplay is way better here, and graphics are like, how did this even run on a PS3? This is a very fun game, the kind that you could play for an entire day non-stop. I really hope Sony makes a PC port of the trilogy. More people need to play this.
They get us all killed!
I'm just trying to set things right.
And maybe save the world?
All men dream, but not equally.
Uncharted 3 explores Nathan Drake's past and his obsession with adventure. The narrative focuses on his relationships while pushing him into more personal and dangerous situations. Again, stunning graphics, but the game is not as good as the previous one, and somehow most gameplay aspects are worse. I think it also has the worst story of the trilogy. I remember it being disappointing when I played it back then, and I had the same feeling this year.
This I did.
We were meant for this, Nathan. You, me, together. We were destined for something great.
Uncharted 4 brings Nathan Drake's story to a more emotional conclusion. It deals with legacy, family, and the cost of a life driven by adventure. This might be the best of the series so far. Gameplay is so smooth and satisfying, stealth is finally well implemented, and the story is certainly the best of the series. The DLC with Chloe feels like you're playing a Tomb Raider game, and it's great too.
You ready to seek your fortune?
Hang on, Nathan!
Where is the artifact?
Heads up!
I made a promise that I was done with this life.
Proteus is a modern take on classic 90s shooters with fast-paced combat. The story is minimal, serving mainly as a backdrop for intense action and level exploration. It takes a lot of inspiration from Doom and Duke Nukem, but it has its own personality, and there are a lot of community-made maps to expand the original experience. It is super fun, and I think it deserves more attention. Borderlands 3 follows a group of vault hunters trying to stop a pair of cult leaders. The narrative leans heavily on humor, chaos, and the over-the-top tone the series is known for. It's a loot shooter full of humor and intense combat. I had a blast with it. The gunplay is very solid and there's a huge amount of options to build your arsenal. Also, there are a ton of side quests and the story is good. If you like Borderlands 2, I think you will enjoy this one. Streets of Rage 4 continues the classic beat-em-up series with a modern art style. The story is simple and focused on restoring order to a city overrun by crime. This was my 5th playthrough of this game. I played it with a friend of mine and we had a great time. This is probably my favorite beat-em-up game ever. This is the kind of game that is hard not to like, even for non-gamers. I finished it 2 times with my wife and she couldn't care less about games. It is that fun.
Humans interfacing with computers
for their own entertainment. The very notion disgusts me.
Look upon my works, foul creatures,
And weep at its magnificence.
System Shock is a sci-fi horror game set aboard a space station controlled by a rogue AI. The story revolves around isolation technology gone wrong and player-driven discovery. I've had this game sitting on my Steam library for a while, and I decided to finally give it a go. I was surprised at how immersed I got into it. I literally put almost 10 hours non-stop on one day. The last time I played for that long in a single day was, I don't know, 10 years ago? This game really gave me some Half-Life vibes. It doesn't hold your hand at all. You will be wandering the map completely lost if you miss the smallest detail. I had to look at a guide a couple times because I had no idea what to do. I haven't done that in years. Also, this game is hard. Enemies are way stronger than you and you're always out of ammo. Although this is not a forgiving experience, it is very immersive and very much worth playing.
These are my avenging angels, and they will have retribution.
Titanfall 2 tells the story of a soldier and his bond with the Titan mech. It combines fast-paced action with an unexpectedly emotional and character-driven campaign. Yeah, this was the first time I played this game, and damn, it is awesome. It has that old Call of Duty gameplay with sick additions like double jumping, running on walls, and blowing things up with a Titan. It has one of the best campaigns I've played on an FPS game. I was surprised to see that the multiplayer for this game is still quite active. I was able to quickly find matches and play, and that's awesome for a game that's almost 10 years old. It shows how this game is still loved. Lords of Shadow reimagines the Castlevania universe with a darker, more cinematic narrative. It follows Gabriel Belmont on a tragic journey driven by loss and destiny. I'd never heard of this game before this year. Lords of Shadow is a trilogy and each game was on sale on Steam for $1.99. I love hack and slash games, so I bought them. This game really surprised me. It starts kinda slow, it feels a bit too simple and generic at first, but after a couple of chapters, the game opens up to you, showing how detailed and complex it is. And I don't say complex as in hard to understand, but in terms of the amount of content. The gameplay can be clunky at times, mainly on platforming parts, but you get used to anticipating its inaccuracy. The story is surprisingly good, with unexpected twists, and some boss battles are quite hard. Not Dark Souls level hard, but they're not a walk in the park either. There is a lot of replay value too, with many secrets to find and trials to complete. This is not an innovative experience, but it is a fun hack and slash game in the Castlevania universe. A friend of mine convinced me to play the Dark Souls series, but I'm the kind of person who likes to start from the beginning, so I wanted to start from the very first Souls game. I'm at the very beginning yet, but I have already felt how this game is punitive. So I'm taking my time with it, but I plan to finish it next year. I've been playing this game for quite a long time, but I never actually finished it. I defeated Hades a few times, but the game keeps making me do more runs over and over for a small progression in the story. Although I like the game, it kind of pushed me away a bit. But I'm still playing it, and I have no plans to abandon it. I just don't see myself playing it for long sessions anymore. So whenever I'm in between games, I put some time into it, and I'll eventually get to the end. Well, that's it guys. Those were the games I finished in 2025. I would love to know which games you have finished this year. Let's chat in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a very nice Christmas. See you next time, and stay chill.